Come on in. The Lair is going back into our Shield database for Marvel Rivals. And here we have a personal favorite of mine, the ever so lovely Aurora Monroe, the Omega level mutant Storm. Storm is a duelist, which is Marvel Rivals classification for damage dealers. Although she's got quite a few buffs / supporting moves for her team, but is a mostly damage focused hero. And again, she's fun like every character. And look at that character design. I haven't been given enough light to the character design, but I think everyone's got eyes. And one of the things that's definitely said about this game and the art team is they're knocking it out of the park, and Storm is no different, especially with some of the costumes we've seen for her. So what we're gonna do is we're going to get into her kit, give a breakdown, overall tips and tricks for those starting out or that are just curious as to this character and how it works. And then we're gonna have some gameplay at the end, bring it all together, show some of the things spoken about in the breakdown. And if I do say so myself, we've got a hell of a match today for Storm. Some ranked gameplay. It was a nice match. I did a bit of dominating, to put it very lightly. So without further ado, let's get to Storm's kit, see what she's got and what the devs have cooked up for us, and really see what this damage / support, slightly support character has going for her. Alright, starting off with Storm's normal attack, it's going to be Wind Blade, because of course it is. She's going to throw blades of wind. For my people in the know, a little wind scar, if you will. For those that know, you know. And piercing is an apt description, because this attack will actually, I feel like they should show it in this video here. They don't, but the attack will actually pass through multiple enemies. So, i.e., for example, there was another hero. Actually, they do. It's actually kind of like hard to see. I'm sorry, excuse me. There are actually two Punishers right here. You can kind of see both of the health bars appear at the top when she does damage. So it will go through the first target and hit the second target. You can see that they're both taking the same amount of damage, so it's not damage fall off or anything from the first target to your next target. So obviously hitting multiple targets with this is extremely useful. Though, to be honest, since Storm is our second, and as of right now, our only other truly flying character, most of the time you're probably not going to be this level with the ground, because this is pretty much as much walking as she can get. She doesn't have a walk animation. You're going to be in the air. Spoiler alert, you're going to be in the air utilizing your ability to actually fly. But the times that you are more level with the ground, try to look for opportunities like this to hit multiple targets that are behind one another. Because as you can also see, the damage that this primary attack does is significant. She's got 12 in a quote-unquote clip, and then she has to go through a reload animation. So yeah, I mean, it's not a whole lot, for example, to her primary as far as tips and tricks for me to give you, other than potentially to try to line up shots. This is going to be much harder against, for example, two enemies that are in the air. But to be honest with you, the main draw of this attack is the amount of damage that it does. The piercing is nice, and like I said, when that situation arises or presents itself, definitely take it to try to hit multiple targets. But the real draw of this is the amount of damage that it does. Obviously, it has significant range, which isn't really being shown here. But it does have significant range, combined with the fact that you are a truly flying hero. So you can hit targets from crazy distances away. But other than that, pretty cut and dry normal attack for Storm here. Big damage primary, big damage primary that pierces and goes through multiple targets without any damage fall off. So, going into Storm's ultimate here, the Omega Hurricane, because you got to put that respect on Storm's name. You gotta let them know she's an Omega level threat. It's gonna be what I'm gonna refer to as a targeting special from now on in these breakdowns. So you activate the ultimate via the button that you have it mapped to by default on console. That's going to, at least for PlayStation, that's going to be L3 and R3 at the same time. At least that's how I like mine set up. It's pretty nice not to move your thumbs to activate your ult. So you're going to activate the ult, and then you're going to get a short little targeting, a few moments to target where you want to actually initiate the ultimate, and then once you choose where you want it to, where you want the initial activation to go, which again my suggestion is to try to get it as close to whoever it is that you're trying to damage. She's going to whip up a nice little hurricane for her enemies to have to deal with. Since it's a hurricane, as they typically do, it will draw in anybody that's within range of the swirling blue that you see and pull them towards Storm to deal significant damage. It's doing ticks, so it's doing damage. It's doing damage over a few seconds. It's not just a wipe. So they do have to be in the ult. You can, obviously, as you can see, you can control your movement while the ult is going off. While the hurricane is going off, you can control the direction that you're going in and try to pull more people that maybe were a little bit outside of it and get some damage on them. You are not invincible while you are in this ult. You can and most likely will try to be killed while this ult is going off, so that's something to take note of. But obviously you want to try to drop this when there's a nice group, or to take out both of the supports because they're probably pretty close to each other, or finish off a group of enemies that are pretty weak. Or as you'll see in the gameplay, use it to add pressure when on an OBJ, or even just troll them at the enemy's respawn and make it very difficult for them to get out. But super good ult, does a crazy amount of damage. We'll get into it a little bit more with the suggested combo, but that's about it for her Omega Hurricane. Now, getting into her first normal ability, Weather Control. This is what I alluded to earlier when I said, although she is a duelist, which is supposed to be a damage dealer, what they like to do in this game is not put their characters in a box. So you'll have characters that have other let's say, quirks, right? To kind of blend them or let them stick their toe into other quote-unquote classes. So in this case, this is a support ability for all intents and purposes, although Storm also gains the benefit from this move. Obviously your teammates do as well, as long as they are within this circle. The camera angle right here doesn't do the best to show you how wide this circle is, but it's wide. You've got a good amount of space and area to cover your teammates. The numbers that you see on the screen, the blue 1 and the red 3, the blue represents how many of your teammates is inside the area of effect for this ability, and the red indicates how many enemies are inside the area of effect for this ability. So this move comes with 2 modes. Initially, when you first pop it, it will be in wind, let's call it wind mode, or tornado as the game labels it, which is going to increase everyone's movement speed. And then you press the button again and it will switch to thunder, which will grant everyone, including yourself, a damage boost. And the damage boost is super nice. The movement boost is crazy nice too, so you want to be toggling in between these 2 modes. When your team is in the midst of the battle, in the thick of the battle, it's probably a good idea to just have thunder up to give everyone a damage boost. But like, for example, if you're coming from the spawn, you're respawning, or at the beginning of a match, when your team is probably conveniently grouped up, use the tornado to help your team get to where you guys are trying to go as quickly as possible. Again, we'll go in to it a little bit more when we get to the suggested combo, but there's no cooldown. This move is always up, so one of these, you're going to be in one of these modes at all times. So it's nothing that you have to manage or anything like that. No, just be attentive as to where your teammates and the enemies are. And we'll go into with this next ability as to why it's important to know how many enemies are in this area of effect. There's a reason that this move also tells you how many enemies are in it. Obviously, this move in particular doesn't do anything to the enemy. It doesn't increase their speed in tornado or decrease their damage while you're in the thunder, the electric form of it. But there's a reason that they give you that information on screen, which we're going to get into with this, with her second ability here right now. That ability being the Goddess Boost. So what happens with this move is Storm will channel the power of the storm to empower herself, which will give herself a movement boost. So this ties directly into weather control. So if you are in the wind form of weather control and then you use this move does have an activation, and when after activated it will go on a cooldown, unlike weather control, which does not. It's always up and it's always active and always running. So if you are in the tornado form of weather control and then you use this Goddess Boost, you will grant another movement boost. Okay, so I've actually it's been a while, right guys? It's been a few months. So let me correct what I said during weather control. Weather control does not apply to you. I'm sorry, I just misinformed you. Weather control does not apply to Storm. The damage boost and the movement boost only apply to your team. This move is to give whichever mode you are in to Storm herself. So if you're in the tornado mode, now Storm will also get the movement boost as well as the rest of your teammates, because you are in weather, the tornado form of weather control. If you are in the thunder form of weather control and you use this move, Storm will then get a damage boost to her attack, as well as striking any enemy that is within the area of control. This is what I was just alluding to when I told you that there's a reason that they show you how many enemies are inside the area of effect at all times. That number doesn't ever disappear. The moment that someone is in Storm's area of influence, the numbers will pop up, teammates and enemies alike. So you pop this, and again, depending on which mode you're in, you will gain the effects that you are normally giving to other people with weather control. Again, tornado mode, Storm now has a movement boost, which, to be honest with you, her movement speed is already pretty good. It's pretty well balanced considering she's a flyer. And then in tornado mode, you will get a damage boost, but more importantly, it will damage all of the enemies that's in the area. This move, as you can see right here, does a nice amount of damage. So this is a great way to be putting damage on multiple enemies, considering your primary is not the best for hitting multiple targets unless those targets are directly behind one another. This is to supplement that, gives you the ability to put pressure on multiple enemies while you are most likely focusing on probably one or two with your primary. Again, after you use this move does have a cooldown, so that's something that you have to manage. But when this move is up, you definitely want to be utilizing it, preferably for the thunder. That's probably what you're going to be using it for the most. But nevertheless, that's how these two moves work in tandem. Now, getting into her final ability, Storms don't got a whole lot, and there's a reason. Don't let that fool you. Don't let the shorter ability list of Storm fool you, especially as you'll see when we get to the gameplay. She's a monster. In unprepared teams or slightly less experienced teams, she is definitely a handful, to put it lightly. They do a good job of letting you know she's an Omega level threat. Nevertheless, getting into Storm's last ability is going to be Bolt Rush, because of this is pretty, I would say, pretty iconic to the character. Like, Storm's gotta hurl lightning bolts at someone. I was going to tell that iconically terrible joke about what happens to something that's struck by lightning, but I won't, because I'm pretty sure you guys know. Anyway, so yeah, this one's pretty straightforward move. You're going to zap. You're going to zap in the direction of your targeting reticle. This move, as you can again, it's kind of more difficult to see. There are 2 punishers right here. This move also pierces through multiple enemies, as lightning does. So I'm glad that that's something that the devs took into consideration. So it will hit targets that a target is behind the initial target. As you can see, this move does, again, Punisher has 250, what I'm calling the more basic health. So it's doing about a quarter bar of damage here. So I'd probably say it's probably closer to like 75-ish damage or something like that. One thing I probably haven't like stated, but Storm is definitely a character that's going to take a little bit more aim. There's quite a few characters in the game that is like that. As you'll see in my gameplay, I'm no Shroud. I'm not going to lie to you. So you're going to do a lot of missing with Storm. That's for sure. That's for sure. You're going to do a whole lot of missing of your attacks with Storm. That's all right. This is a move you want to try to hit because of the amount of damage that it does. And then obviously if you are in Thunder form with your weather control and you pop Goddess boost, then this attack will deal even more damage, which is absolutely great. But other than that, pretty straightforward. When you want to finish off an enemy, this is a great move to go to. Especially, for example, let's say you just used your last wind blade and they're within kill range. Bolt rush them. They'll probably die. And again, it's great for hitting multiple targets that are conveniently stacked one behind another. Now, getting into the suggested combo. What do all of these things mean in tandem? Well, as I said, you're going to be probably utilizing the fact that you are one of, at least as of right now, the only 2 true flying characters in the game. So definitely be utilizing your extreme vertical advantage over everyone. Most people aren't looking up. So unless you're in a position where you're easily spotted in the air, in contrast to the rest of the stage, they kind of don't see you coming. They kind of don't see you coming. You're not like zipping around as fast as Iron Man does, for example. So you kind of have the ability to kind of almost like sneak while in the air by conveniently hiding behind taller structures. This map, the Asgard map, probably ain't the best. At least this area right here might not be the best to showcase that, because it's a flatter, more open map. A more flat open map. A more flat open map. But that's definitely something that's kind of like how you want to probably be approaching most battles. Other than that, you want to be stationed. This is a good example of where you want to be stationed. While the rest of your team, for example, the 2 punishers that are close to her, will be your teammates. This is where you want to be. This is the area that you want to stay in. You're a DPS, so more or less in the middle. Probably don't want to be in front of the tanks. You're going to draw the attention much faster. Although, to be honest with you, once you've kind of snowballed a little bit for your team in your favor, you're going to become a pretty priority target for the enemy team. Anyway, so yeah, this is where you want to be. Still in the middle like most DPSs. Again, unless you're utilizing your flying ability to do some nice little sneaky flanking and paying attention to who is in your area of influence. It's more important who on your team is in your area of influence, aka in your little circle, than the enemy team, so that you can make sure that your team is getting the maximum buffs possible. As I said, me personally, this will change, and you'll kind of have to change it depending on the situation. Me personally, I usually just stay in Thunder form of weather control, so everyone can get nice damage boosts, versus the movement speed. Again, unless we're coming from the respawn, or you know we're pushing, let's say like we're pushing the objective and the enemy team isn't particularly there, well then obviously if there's no one around, damage boost isn't doing much. So movement boost isn't bad, although again, the moment that they leave your little circle, they lose those beneficial effects that you're getting to them. But 9 times out of 10 you'll probably be in Thunder form of weather control for the boost to damage of your teammates, and then obviously utilizing your Goddess boost whenever it is off of cooldown. I believe it's got like a 15-second cooldown without any other characters potentially lowering your cooldowns. I don't think we have any characters, at least not so far, that decreases others' cooldowns. And then obviously using Bolt Rush to finish off anybody, or to just even to engage. It's also a nice engagement tool, Bolt Rush, to get some premium damage and then start throwing wind blades. But 98% of the time you're just tossing out wind blades. Again, don't worry if you're not Shroud level of on point with your aim. Just throw out those wind blades. Throw out the wind blades. If it hits, that's great. If not, it's whatever. Again, although she only has 20 quote-unquote ammunition before she has to reload. The reload animations in this game aren't crazy long, and some characters have shorter ones than others. But other than that, that's pretty much what it is to Storm, managing these things. Bolt Rush has like a 4-second cooldown. So again, don't be afraid to throw that out. You're gonna probably, if it makes you feel better, you'll probably miss with your Bolt Rush way more than you do with your Wind Blades, obviously, because you only can cast Bolt Rush once before the cooldown kicks in, versus you have 12 ammunition with your primary. And pretty much just trying to micromanage where your teammates are within your little circle of influence, so that they're getting the most benefit from the movement boost or damage boost, depending on which mode you're in, and switching back and forth between the two. Although again, you're probably, I would at least suggest to stay in Thunder form the most, and movement speed specifically if you are pushing, let's say, especially if you're on comms, you've got a stacked squad of people that you communicate, or you're just using the in-chat communication tools, and you want to do a nice push with a ground-based DPS, your other DPS, assuming that your team is split between 2, 2, and 2. You want to do a push with your other damage dealer, then definitely go into movement speed mode so that they get that, which is super nice. For example, if you have Iron Man on your team, which again, being the only other flyer, as long as he's within that circle, doesn't matter. Obviously, if he's on the ground, he'll gain the effects from the boosted effects from that as well. So there's a little bit of knowledge there, knowing the people that's on your team, and knowing which will benefit this character the most. But again, my suggestion is to just stay in Thunder form, because you're probably going to be, like you see here, hovering up in the middle of your team in one spot, in the middle of team fights and whatnot, to damage boost. And then obviously, when you pop the Goddess boost, while you're in Thunder form, my suggestion, again, this will depend on the situation, is to use Goddess boost while you're in Thunder form, so that those thunderbolts come down and hit characters that you're not even looking at. And it's not, although the enemy team can see your area of influence, there's only so much that they can do in a fight, so there's a good chance that they wander into, especially, you can pop the Goddess boost, and while the thunderbolts are going off, move the circle over them and get some of those nice little lightning strikes off. It, like I said, does a nice amount of damage, and they won't even, by the time they know that they're taking damage from someone else, from something else, they're not even fighting you, they're fighting one of your ground-based allies. By the time they realize where am I taking this damage from? It's probably too late for that. So yes, definitely utilize that Goddess boost. You actually can be in one form and switch to the other, so you can be in Tornado form, pop the Goddess boost, give yourself the movement speed, and then press the button for weather control again and switch to lightning once you've quickly gotten up to them, and then get those lightning bolts off, because it does last for a few seconds. But that's pretty much it for Storm, with the exception of her team up ability. Now this gameplay, or this footage right here of the abilities was taken again from the alpha/beta tests at that point, and well, this in particular from the alpha, at least for Storm. So Thor was not in yet, but Thor is who she has a team up ability with. She gives him a boost to his abilities via lightning, and she gains another lightning like strike attack, pretty similar to her Bolt Rush, to be honest with you. Pretty similar to her Bolt Rush, but if memory serves, does a bit more damage. That's what her team up is. Captain America is also a part of that team up, but that's not listed here because this footage was taken before Thor was added to the game, which was about two-ish days into the beta. With that said, that's what there is to Aurora. That's what there is to our Aurora. Interesting name. that's about all there is to our girl Storm. Like I said, a DPS character, but also a decent amount of time focused on like support for your team, which I think is great, especially because there's a lot of talk right now about do we have enough strategists, strategists, enough supports in the game. There's a lot of DPSs with things like this, and I'm pretty sure we will get more characters like this that, although they are damage based, have supporting a lot. Like the character has a significant focus on supporting the team with their abilities. I think another good example is, for example, is Captain America, who is not a support. He's a tank, but his kit mostly revolves around, I don't say mostly, but a portion of his kit revolves around supporting the other teammates, kind of like a strategist / support would. So, I don't, off the top of my head, remember her difficulty. I mean, like, I know the stars are there, but if I had to give it a rating, I don't think she's super difficult to get a grasp on these skills. The difficulty of this character comes from having to hit your shots, which again, just toss the wind blades out. You know, just toss them out. They hit a target, great. If it misses, throw another one. And what you're gonna see here in the gameplay here right now. With that said, if you made it this far in the video, thank you. I appreciate all of you, whatever it is that you're going through. Hope that you get through it. If not today, that you soon will. And until the next time, we'll be right here at the Lair.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Wind, cloud, and storm, hear my command. Is a great gift. It must be used wisely.
You cannot save Brazil, nor
30
can you
seconds
save
before you attack.
yourselves.
Get ready.
So, you are the perfect human?
I gather that was the intent.
Typical mortals.
Asgard has been invaded yet again.
Perfections they could
What is
perfect
always
themselves.
lonely shall prevail.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Help get that vehicle to its destination.
My strength is increased.
Now I am more dangerous.
Now's the time to hit.
Be swift.
Come, my minion.
Strike lightning. Speed is everything.
Come, my minion.
I have found more lost souls.
We are undefeatable!
Speed is everything.
They are coming from behind. Come, my minion. Friends, gather around.
I will always lend a hand. I am shielded. Excellent.
Go have fun.
And smite the foe!
Happy to help.
We have to stop
An
Loki's
old
tapping
enemy
operation.
vanquished
Go.
at last. I bring
Now I am
enemy's
more
strength
dangerous.
Increased.
You're halfway there. Keep going. Friendly
My
Almost there. Don't turn back now.
This place closely.
I see them!
Behold, Dark-Child!
Of the goddess! The sky is bellow.
Double KO.
I lift up my
Our
comrades.
destiny
Mine
awaits.
enemies tremble.
My strength has increased.
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
This was my only choice.
Who wants to smash? Follow enemy.
Even a little storm would shake this area to pieces. I will always lend a hand.
Look out, bad guys!
Our foes have arrived.
You're halfway there. Keep going.
Count on me!
My strength has increased.
I will
Beware,
always
enemies.
lend a hand.
Bad guys watch out.
Strike lightning.
Double KO. Almost there. Don't turn back now.
Follow this enemy.
Spotted an enemy.
I lift up my comrades.
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum. Going anywhere.
You get a weapon! You get a weapon! You get a weapon! Look out, bad guys!
Here is an enemy.
Happy to help.
I have spotted an enemy.
Beware,
Ride out.
enemies.
The world
I
tree's
feel
life is in the
stronger
balance.
Feeling bomb. Mine enemies tremble. Run away home, little spider. Your neighborhood needs you.
Lightning surges
Our
within me.
enemies are here.
Want to take a look over here? Might want to take a look over here.
That's it. Don't let anything stand in your way.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
We are undefeatable.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man! Rise, my friends!
Look out, bad guys!
Get that vehicle moving again. I'm vulnerable. Who will help?
What a feeling!
Idrisil's roots are suffering.
Ahead.
Faster!
I am Asgard Might.
Together.
Strike lightning!
On Tooth Grinder. We ride with you.
My
Now
strength
I am
has
more
increased.
dangerous. Goodbye.
Look out, bad
So
guys!
close. This is your big chance. Friends, gather around.
You get a weapon!
I lift
You
up
get a
my
weapon!
comrades.
You get a weapon!
Track this. Feel the wrath of the goddess!
The current score is 3-2-0. Time to switch things up, including which side you're on. The right heroes could make all the difference.
Wind, cloud, and storm. Hear my command.
Round 2, go!
I fight for everyone.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
Banner, it will be good to smash villains in your company.
Absolutely. You're gonna do lightning tricks?
Oh, like you have never seen before. Showtime.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pretty sure those are bad guys.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
My heart hurts for my brother. That will not stop me from defending Asgard. Bad guys, watch out!
Now's the time to hit 'em.
I lift up my comrades.
I feel stronger than ever.
I bring battlefield havoc.
Strike lightning. Happy to help.
Double KO.
No pleasure in that, but it
That's
had to
3. Wow, 4 in a row.
triple strike.
Be all right. Someday. Now's the time to hit 'em.
See that?
Oh no.
I have located one of our opponents.
Mine
My
enemy's
strength has increased.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
I will always win.
Now I am more friends. Gather around.
I am shielded.
You needed some help, didn't you?
I hope you could not feel their pain.
Now's the time to hit 'em.
Healing power.
bad guys, watch out! I am Groot!
Chin up.
I see them.
I am Asgard's might!
Rise, my friends! It is your foe.
You get a weapon.
Rest
You get a weapon. You get a weapon.
Storm is dead. Feel the thunder.
My strength
Now I
has
am more
increased.
dangerous.
Now's the time to hit 'em.
Happy to help.
Only 60 seconds left.
Our foes have arrived.
I want to hit you more than I have.
Friends, gather around.
I am shielded. Excellent.
The good guys next time.
Shake it up.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
The sky.
Double KO. That's 3.
Triple strike.
My
Down
strength
to
has
30 seconds.
Happy to help.
Bad guys, watch out!
only moments longer.
Look out, bad guys.
Beware. Final 10 seconds.
Happy to help.
You get a weapon. You get a weapon. You get a weapon.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Watch out, they're headed our way.
I will always strike lightning.
Behold, Dark-Child!
Mine enemies tremble! I am
Now's
Asgard's
the time to
might!
hit 'em.
Asgard's I'm Hulk!
Look behind, look behind!
Friends, final score 3-2-0.